Welcome back to Brazen Brits. I'm Lawrence.
And I'm Natalie.
And this week we're doing something a little bit different. So we are halfway through our trip along Route 66 on our Harley Davidson Road Glide Touring Edition. And so we have had so many questions about how we like the bike, you know, what does it have, what does it do? And it's basically been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been a good bike.
Natalie hasn't enjoyed it, so not because it wasn't comfortable bike.
No, it was very comfortable.
Very comfortable. But Natalie rides her own bike, and I think some of it was because you were pillion.
Yeah, I don't like being passenger.
So yeah, so that was that. But anyway, we're going to run over some of the cool features of the bike. But overall, we have loved it. The weight is incredible.
Very heavy.
And so the reason we're doing this is if you watched our video last week, you will see that John actually dropped his, and we struggled to pick the bike up. Sorry if you can hear the train. We struggled to pick the bike up, so thank you to everyone for the tips on how to do that.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of nowhere, no signal, we couldn't YouTube it or anything, so we struggled between the three of us to pick it up. But we're going to check the bike over anyway, and whilst we're doing that, we're going to run over everything that the bike has to offer and hopefully answer some of your questions. So let's roll the intro and get into it. We've just got to our hotel here. It's the Days Inn. It's actually very nice. Quite like it. But I thought I'd go over the bike. One of them, because we had to check over John's bike to make sure everything was okay, and we confirm everything is fine. It basically fell on. The problem was the road was quite a sandy road. It was like crushed volcanic rock that they had used for the road, and in some patches it was just real sandy. So I think because I had the weight of Natalie on the back of me, it helped the front get through it, whereas John's just dug in and he just kind of spun round. I don't know how he did that. I guess the front dug in, the back spun round, something like that, and he just fell over. But actually the big bars, the cool thing about these bikes, I have the big bars at the front, so it kind of rested on that, and then it rested on one of the pannier boxes, which I'll show you in a moment. So it really just didn't do any damage. The foot peg kind of flipped up, and so it was all fine, so there's no scratches or anything, even though we have full insurance on it. In case Eagle Rider are watching, there's no damage, okay? Anyway, but I just wanted to go over a few cool things on the bike. So actually on the front of the bike, you actually have two little compartments on the front, which are really great to just store, like, you know, if you need your wallet or something, you need it handy, especially when you're filling up. That's fantastic. And one of them actually has a USB port which you can connect your phone to, and that connects up to the center screen. The center screen has some cool stuff because it has navigation, music, it has an FM radio. All of that stuff is controlled by two little nipples on either side of the handlebars, so you can control and navigate through that whilst you're riding. The other thing up in front, you have the fuel gauge, which I especially like because when you hit the left indicator, that's where the E is on the fuel gauge, and John gets very angry with me when I say in 2 miles we're turning E because it's left. On the right hand side, that gives you the battery volt, so you can see how your battery's doing, and on the right hand indicator signal you can see it's where the 16 volts is for the battery. So in 2 miles John will be turning 16. So that's always fun, and he gets very angry about it, which is even funner. Then you have the speedo and the rev counter in the middle. You then have a steering lock on the bike, which is really handy, and a few other bits on there. One thing we added was the quad locks. Both John and I have the quad locks. It does wireless charging, which connects to a 12 volt cigarette lighter down here. It does wireless charging, it has anti-vibration. I can't imagine doing this trip without the quad lock. There are other things you can use. Quad lock are the best. They have the wireless charging, they have the anti-vibration. Fantastic. I wouldn't do this again without it. We would be struggling without it. We have our navigation on there. It charges the phone. You finish your ride after 9 hours, it's still all fully charged, and it's great. I also know my nephew Adam actually had this without the anti-vibration on, and he found that it really messed up his phone. Didn't know that was possible, but yeah, get the anti-vibration if you're on a motorcycle. All right, the rest of the stuff, really, I don't know too much about it. John, you know more than me. What is this, 1.8 litre?
Yeah, 107 cubic centimetres.
1.8 litre engine with 1,007 cubic...
Sorry, 107 cubic inches.
107 cubic inches. Don't know what that means. All right, so we have... the one good thing, the foot rests that you put your feet on are anti-vibration which I can't imagine what they're like without it, but I think they're really cool, especially some of the bad roads on Route 66. That has been, I think it's been a lifesaver. Without that, I think your legs would be like pins and needles afterwards. The rear ones, Natalie, you found those fine?
Yeah, good.
Natalie loves the rear
Not
ones.
anti-vibration.
They're not anti-vibration, but you're on the rear suspension, so I don't imagine it's that bad. The seat, everyone has said your ass is going to hurt within 3 days. You're both going to hate it, and it's going to suck. Absolutely incorrect. These bikes are fantastic. The seats are so comfortable. Even Natalie loves the rear seat. She has the old armrest seat on the back. We have had no complaints from that at all. If anything, the worst thing about this is the clutch is really heavy, and when you're in and out with the clutch, especially on some of the bad roads, both mine and John, our left hand especially on the clutch is bad, and with the crosswinds we found that we've been gripping the bars a lot, so both of our hands are sore, but that's not a bike thing. So the only other thing is moving to the back. We have the rear, whatever you want to call it. There's the panniers, we call them in the UK. I think they're just the side lockers. They're really good space. If you are doing this, bring your own bags, even invest in them, because when you get to the hotel, you don't want to leave anything on the bike. You want to pull all of that stuff out and put it in your room, and if it's one by one, it's going to take you forever. We just have 2 big bags on the side. Thank you to our friends who live near us for lending us theirs. We just pull those out, throw them straight into the hotel room, you're done. And the same with the back box. You have the back box here, it's huge. You can't quite fit 2 helmets in it. You can fit 1 helmet or a big bag that we use. All of our camera equipment that goes in there, that's all lockable. So the back box, that's part of the touring pack. So that's fantastic. And also, you would have seen on the videos, we have our bags bungeed to the back. There is a, what's this called, a luggage rack kind of thing. We just bungee everything on there. There is a front vent as well. We haven't used it. We've kept that open the whole time because it's been warm. Is there anything I've missed, Natalie and John?
Fuel cap doesn't lock.
Fuel cap doesn't lock, so people can steal your fuel.
Press the beep every time you change.
One annoying thing, every time the right indicator is on the right hand handlebar, the left one is on the left hand handlebar, and it's right next to the horn, and every time we go we go to put the left indicator, both of us have done it so many times and we can hear through our intercoms, but every time we go and hit that, we hit the horn every time first, so that's the only irritation, but actually that's more of a running joke now. Alright, I'm really hungry, so thank you for watching. Here's a video that we think you're going to enjoy. If you want to subscribe, please do hit subscribe, hit the bell button so you know when we upload more videos. We've got some cool stuff coming up, so watch out for that. If you'd like to come to Braziere, see some behind the scenes stuff, please hit the join button. There's a few different options you can use there. Thank you to everyone below for supporting the channel. We will see you next week, hopefully with John on both wheels.